time. So today, the Biden-Harris administration announced a temporary pause on pending decisions on exports of liquefied natural gas to certain countries until the Department of Education can update the underlying assessments.
Why is this pause coming now and not on day one? It's almost 3 years into the president's term, and since he took office, the administration has approved thousands of oil and gas projects. So why didn't you take this pause on day one to do all the critical analysis you just talked about?
So, great question. The Department of Energy, this analysis that the agency is undertaking, it's the economic analysis, the environmental analysis, is at this point, in most cases, about 5 years old.
There's been several reviews in the past. Those generally haven't involved pauses. So why this time is there a pause on these pending sales? Some of your critics are saying it's because of politics trying to please environmental activists ahead of the election. What do you say to that?
I think we've got to be clear-eyed about the challenges that we face. The climate crisis is that, an existential crisis, and we've got to be, I think, really forward-leaning into.
So 32 oil and natural gas industry groups have signed on to a letter saying that the pause sends a wrong message to the allies, but also that it will push countries, specifically in Asia, to turn to coal plants when they can't get that increased LNG, which we've seen in India, China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Pakistan, Germany, when they couldn't find enough natural gas. So what's your response to that criticism?
Look, I hear you. The industry that produces fossil fuels has a perspective on how to manage that supply and demand. We can sort of go through where different groups are, and that's exactly what the Department of Energy process is all about.
But does the pause then push other countries towards coal?
I don't think that bears out in fact.
And second, can you just also respond to the criticism we've heard today, particularly from the industry, that essentially the administration has handed a win to Russia?
Just to rewind, in the right after the invasion, the Russian invasion, the U.S. and the EU got together. We launched a task force to focus on energy security, and what that looked at was short-term needs, medium-term, and long-term as part of that. And before we make an assessment or draw a conclusion based on what the industry's putting out, let's listen to what our allies are saying. We got a letter from 60 members of parliament from across Europe saying, hey, be a partner to us in the short run, and you have been, but also be a partner to us in the long run as we all take on this existential threat. And that's what President Biden, I think, has done so effectively. He listens to the science, he follows the facts, he stands with our allies and partners, he deals with these near-term challenges without taking our eye off the ball on the existential threat that we all face. The President's, I think, delivered exceptionally well on that. Today's step moves us continuing in the right direction.